Discover your hidden talent at the Animation Academy, where you can learn to draw your favorite Disney friends from a real Disney artist.
Aha! Like Donald or Goofy and, oh gosh, me too.
You'll be surprised just how easy it is, and we're just about to begin.
Ooh, come on, everybody. This is gonna be swell.
2 o'clock is Jack Skellington, 2:30 is Zero. Which one? I don't. Let's do the first one. Jack, I'll drop it.
This t-shirt down here I'm seeing. This is beautiful.
Oh.
You know, anybody who celebrates Halloween after Halloween is my favorite person ever. So I wish I could wear that shirt. But, and wearing black, that's close, right?
Yeah.
Good. All right. My name is Sam. I'll be your artist for this lesson. Now that we're all seated up, we still have extra people. Oh, interesting. Make sure that you have all 3 things that you need in the class. So you should all have a board, a sheet of paper, and a pencil. If at any point in time during class your paper happens to rip, or if you need a pencil because yours broke, there are some boards that aren't being used, kind of sprinkled or scattered in the room. If you're near one, go ahead and help yourselves out. If somebody needs one near you that isn't near an empty board, go ahead and team it up, teamwork, help each other out. Otherwise, we have the wonderful Les, who'll be here in the room. He's a wonderful gentleman that will come over if you need anything, just raise your hand. I'll bring that pencil over for you. He can also help you exit too, so if you need to go or exit for anything, phone call, restroom break, anything of that nature, you'll want to go back the way you came through these doors here at the top of the stairs. The easiest one to get out of, and this is very important because otherwise you'll be up there going like this and we'll just be sitting here watching you. All right, that can be very embarrassing. I know because I've done it. But if you do need to exit, it's the one that's next to the corner of the room by that yellow wall. All right. Otherwise, Les can push the door open for you by pressing the button. Okay. Awesome. All that stuff out of the way, we can get with our drawing. Who in here is in A Nightmare Before Christmas? You have to be, right? Because you know who you're sketching, right? Who are we sketching? Jack Skellington, yes. So we are sketching a portrait of Jack, just the way I like it. We're going to be sketching these characters all year round, and it's going to stay that way. So we're going to be drawing a portrait of Jack. He is the Bone Daddy. He is the Pumpkin King, and we're going to be sketching him through back his bow tie. So if you've never been here before, show of hands. Whose first time is it coming here to Academy? Oh, so few of you. Welcome, first timers. Awesome. All right. So those of you who've never been here before, we are a rough sketch class. So an example of rough sketching is this. And you don't have to do this. It's just an example so you can see what we're working with here. So normally when you're drawing, sometimes you may be a perfectionist like me and you really want to get those lines nice and straight or circles like this by using a lot of little sketching lines like that. Don't do that. Or you want to go really slow to try and get your line as perfect as possible. Those are both horrible ways to rough sketch. Because rough sketching is exactly what's in the name. It's going to be rough and it's going to be sketching. All right? Here's what you do. Use a bunch of lines like this for every single shape. And then when there's something that you want to keep, you're going to go back and darken in your lines. Because those dark lines are the things that we keep and they stand out. As you can see the difference between those lighter and darker lines, we still keep everything that we consider a mistake. There's no mistake in rough sketching. All those lighter lines that are kind of like the bad lines are the lines that just help add texture to your drawing, okay? And here's another thing too. This is an illustrated book, illustrated by Tim Burton. This is of the poem that inspired the full-length animated film, which was Night Before Christmas. He draws Jack in various ways. This is my favorite example because this is the inner portion of the book here. If you look at that head right there, is that a perfect circle?
No.
No, but he was like, no, it's fine, go ahead, put it in. Yeah, he's cool with it, right? And then there's even another drawing of Jack here, where the head is an oval versus a circle. So you have different ways you can do this. He's even got a lot of very crooked lines in the bodywork. And I mean, look at Sally, she's seen better days, right? Yeah, so you have a lot of different ways you can draw your character. I mean, even look at the mayor, oh, geez. All right, so we'll have some fun with this, add a little bit of your style and your flair to this character. And we're gonna go ahead and start off with our circle here at the top of our page for his head. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a circle, it can be an oval, but get messy with it. Use that whole arm, build your shape the way I was showing you just a moment ago. And I know if you are that perfectionist like I am, you're not gonna listen to a darn thing I say, you're gonna try and do it your way anyway. Trust me, I've learned that the hard way. And the only way I got better at my drawings was to do it this way, and it really has helped. I'm going to add in some construction lines that are going to help me with the facial features of the character. So from top center of your circle, you can even leave these tick marks here, to the bottom center, curve the line over to the left-hand side to give you what looks like this crescent moon that's on the left part of your shape. That shows us where the center of his face is. So normally, if he's looking straight ahead, that line would be straight down the center. If you all the way over to the right, all the way over, put your whole body into it. Push it open. There you go. I know. With us weaklings, it's hard. Like when I'm small, I can't do anything at all. It's hard for me to open those doors. You're buff, but you can do it. You got it? I know. Yeah. All right. So, how are we doing so far? Did I lose you?
Yep.
No? All right. All right. We're still doing good. Okay, one more line. Left to right. Stretched out letter U shape. So we're adding 2 construction lines to help us with the facial features. So that's the eye line. Oh, there you go. All right. He's like, I got it. Okay.
Mine didn't do too bad.
That is the most we're going to add in for Jack's head right now. We're going to go down to the neck and bow tie. His neck will not be straight up and down like a lollipop. It's going to be tilted to an angle. If he's facing this direction, he's tilting back. He's leaning back. He's cool. He's got this awesome stance. People want to be this guy, wishes want to get with him, you know? So he's awesome. It really is. He's an awesome dude. So you bring these lines together, nice and skinny. He is a skeleton after all, so he's all bones. And then the bow tie is what? A bat, yes. So the center of this bow tie is the bat head. And the bat head shape kind of looks like the shape of a candy corn, or think of it like a triangle that doesn't have like harsh corners to it. It's kind of like bowed out and rounded out along the edges. So right at the very top, and the head should be kind of facing the same direction as the way the neck is facing too. So I'll start with the rainbow. And then I'll bring 2 diagonal curved lines together, kind of pointing the same direction that neck is pointing. It almost looks like a shovel, kind of, too. Like this is the spade of the shovel, this is the handle. On either side of the bat head, we need to add in some ears. These are going to be upside down letter V's, nice and pointy, because he is kind of spooky. And then if you want to add a construction line to help you the same way that we have that construction line for Jack, it's essentially the same thing. You're just curving the line across the face like that, and that kind of gives you an idea of what side is closer to us and which side is further away. Since we see more of this side of the bat head, that side is closer to us. Therefore, the eye needs to kind of be bigger to show us that it's closer to us in space. It's tricking our eyes into believing that there's a little bit of perspective here. Even though we're working on a very flat drawing on a flat sheet of paper, you can still play with your eyes a little bit and kind of give you the impression that certain things are further away. For instance, if I add a skinnier oval on this eye over here, it'll kind of make it look like it's further in the distance, just a little bit. You can go back with your dark lines, the very first of your dark lines, and start adding in a dark outline for all of the rest of your shape here. So not the lines that we use to connect our shapes together, just the actual outline itself, all connected together. You can even darken in the little bat eyes here. I like to actually kind of shade in the bat itself, because this is going to add some contrast later on with Jack. Since Jack's head is white, this bat head is going to be black, so it's going to play a little bit on contrast, kind of bouncing back and forth between his head and his bat head. He is very monochromatic too. Everything about him is blacks, whites, grays. You see a little bit of color in the film, but mostly it's using a lot of those shades and stuff of blacks, whites, and grays. And Tim Burton also really likes an artist named Edward Gorey. If you are kind of a person like me who loves creepy stuff, you probably know who this artist is. He uses a lot of texture and a lot of detail in each and every one of his drawings. So much so that Tim Burton really likes this artist that he actually added it into the background of The Night Before Christmas. So if you take a look at the town and you look at the ground, you look at the walls, you look at the houses, you're really going to see little tiny lines and a lot of texture in every single detail of those walls and ground and everything. The trees, even when he's going all the way up to all of the trees that have all of the different holidays and stuff, you really see a lot of that in place. See? All that detail. And you see it in the movie too, so he really loves that a lot. All right, we're going to add in the bat wings, which does show a little bit of this texture. First, we need to make them look kind of like cat whiskers. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then in between these, we're going to connect them with curved lines and only connect the points of the cat whiskers. So just bringing these in and just connecting the outer points. So we get a little bit of a spikier look to these bat wings. If you haven't had coffee today, like I have not, sadly, you can let your wrist just shake like it's gonna, and it's gonna give you this kind of a texture that Tim Burton has in all of his artwork. He has a lot of shaky lines. He doesn't really like to use any straight lines. It gives him a little bit more style to his artwork as well. For those of you who don't know, he actually used to be an animator and an artist for the Disney Studios. He worked on a couple of films, The Black Cauldron and The Fox and the Hound, which I don't watch because that makes me very sad. But he did both of those two movies, and it was during the time that he was working with the Disney Studio that he actually got the idea for Night Before Christmas. He went to a convenience store during his lunch break and saw that they were taking down Halloween decorations, as they're doing now, if they haven't already, and are putting up Christmas decorations, because who puts up Thanksgiving decorations? No one. So they go right from one holiday to the other like that, and because of that, it actually gave him the idea of what would happen if these two holidays collided. So he saw both like piles of decorations on the floor and thought, that's a really cool theme, a really cool idea for a poem. So it created the poem, and then years later he got together with Henry Selick, who happens to be the director of the movie. A lot of people think Tim Burton is, but he's not. He is the creator of the characters, but Henry Selick created or directed the film. They got together and they wanted to go over to Disney to have Disney do the film. Disney was like, these characters are not really our style. Would you want me to add pupils and like the skeletons because they won't scare kids as much? And they're like, no, we don't want to do that. So they didn't, and they opened it up under a partnership, which was Touchstone. And eventually this movie made a lot of money, and Disney's like, hey, Desi, come back over here, we'll sell your merchandise. And sure enough, they did. So yeah, now you can see Jack and Sally over in Disneyland, and they're still taking over the Haunted Mansion. So who's done that today or in like the past few days, yeah? If you haven't done it, go over and see the Haunted Mansion. It's so awesome. I really, really love that they decorate it every single year. And the gingerbread house in the center, in the middle of the house, is different every single year. And this year, it has a lot of Oogie Boogie in it too, so that's pretty cool. All right. So we have the hardest part done. We've already done one thing that we're going to do for Jack, the eyes. We're going to do the same thing for him, just much bigger. The same exact kind of shapes too. Got a skinny oval over here. Keep it on that eye line. And then we're going to add in a wider oval. Oops, as I made a mistake there. That's totally fine. I'm okay with it. We're going to add in a wider circle/oval on the opposite side. You really want to make this eye look closer to us. So definitely don't be afraid to make those eyes the focus, or as we call it in the art world, a focal point, because most artwork pieces do have a focal point in them. It's the thing that stands out the most, and we're going to make these eyes stand out the most too. Once you have a shape you're happy with, use the side of your pencil, put some pressure down, shade those in and make them nice and dark. Make them the way Tim Burton and Henry Selick had envisioned, no pupils at all. And this guy is still popular. He's kept Hot Topic in business for years. He's still doing good. All right. The last two most, actually easiest things in my opinion for your character here are the nostril holes, and we're going to add in a big smile. You can add in a frown. You can give him like a maybe side smirk or something if you want to. Think about the kind of expression you want to give your Jack. Totally up to you. But the nose is the probably the easiest possible thing you're ever going to draw on any character whatsoever. Ready for it? 1, 2. There you are. You're done. You can add a little bit of thickness to him if you want. Really, the details in the smile. So we're going to go underneath the eye here on the left. Follow the curve of your circle. Don't be afraid to use that whole arm. Curve that smile up on the eye line. You could add a little rainbow there to show that's the end of that smile. Go back, and you can even rotate your board if it's easier to do this smile. Sometimes if you curve your wrist too much, it's kind of uncomfortable. Go back in the smile, add a bunch of these little tick marks for his teeth. Place however many you want in there too. Tim Burton would be very proud of that. He loves adding in all those little tick marks and texture and stuff. Go back, find the line that you like on your circle. Lock it in. Same thing with the neck, because we have not darkened in that neck yet. And don't worry if your circle is not perfect, like clearly mine isn't either, so that just adds more of that Tim Burton kind of style. And darken in that neck. If you want to add a little bit of shading to the neck as well, I like to very lightly add a little bit of this kind of slanted shading right at where his chin would kind of be here. as if the light is hitting him from the top of his head and his neck isn't really catching too much of that light there. After all that is said and done, you have just created your very own Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King. Find a blank spot somewhere next to Jack. Sign your name. You can even add a little bit of this too. I like to add a little background to my characters because it makes them kind of stand out a bit more as well. Don't forget that name though, very important. All right. Did we have fun? Oh, that's convincing.
Yep.
Let's try that again because it's a little dead silence. All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We have fun? Yeah! There we go. I want everybody in this whole building to hear you. All right. I had a lot of fun showing you how to sketch this character. I do want to see how all of your drawings turned out as well. So we'll have a big art show. One more count of 3. Take a look around, see how your drawings turned out, and see that you all have your own personal styles as artists too, okay? On the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. Jack Skellington. Very nice. These are big sketches too. Like that background on yours. Great work over here. Everybody has dark eye sockets on their Jacks. I love it. All the way in the back. These are big. No fear in this class. I love it. Love the bat bow ties down here too. Amazing work. These are wonderful. Okay, and you know what? Like I said, they don't pay me the ladies, so you did amazing. Give yourselves a round of applause for passing this class. I'm very proud of those drawings, especially if it's your first time too. All right. I had a wonderful time showing you how to sketch Jack. We actually have one more nightmare character in this lineup, but we are going to be sketching them again later today. If you want to join us for another set of nightmare characters, we'll have Zero up next, so you want to come back and join us for that.
Today?
Before I get out of here, I'm giving my drawing to this lovely lady down here. That shirt, how can I not? Amazing. All right. If we don't see you in the upcoming class, you have a great rest of your stay here at the resort. Happy Halloween, everyone. Class dismissed.